Hello, thank you for tuning in to our presentation. Today I'll be discussing the marketing claims and characteristics of insect repellents. First, I'll begin by introducing myself. My name is Caitlyn Dagenet. I'm a medical student at the University of Arizona College of Medicine in Tucson, and I'm currently partaking in a dermatology research fellowship at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences under the wonderful mentor, Dr. Vivian. I personally have no conflicts of interest to disclose. So let's talk a little bit about why we wanted to look into insect repellents. What are people talking about? One is confusing regulations. Insect repellents are actually regulated as pesticides by the EPA rather than being regulated by the FDA like other topically applied products. Two, there's various active ingredients that can be confusing to navigate, including DEET, picaridin, lemon eucalyptus oil, citronella oil, and catnip oil. And the third topic is public confusion over whether or not DEET is safe. The CDC has stated that DEET has no risk of carcinogenicity and poses minimal risk to cause skin irritation unless being applied to a wound. There are reports of neurotoxic effects after oral ingestion or other deliberate excessive exposure. So the purpose of our project was to look more into popular insect repellents that consumers are purchasing, including looking at their active ingredients, allergen content, marketing claims, safety hazards, and costs. The methods that we used to collect the information was we found the 50 most reviewed insect repellent products from Target, Amazon, and Walmart. From that list of 150, we collected the 30 most reviewed products, and then we analyzed their ingredients, marketing claims, safety data sheet availability, and Environmental Protection Agency registration to determine the allergen content. The ingredients were compared to lists from the American Contact Dermatitis Society 2020 core allergen list. So what are some of the mechanisms of insect repellents? Well, synthetic insect repellents that are commonly known for their ingredient of DEET actually mask the human odorants that mosquitoes sense from calcium channels. And natural insect repellents like lemongrass oil are repellent activators, and they activate an avoid response in insects via those same calcium channel sensors. So what were the most common active ingredients in the top 30 insect repellents that we found? Well, DEET was, of course, the most numerous single active ingredient in the 30 products, coming in at 11 total products that included DEET. The second most common was lemon eucalyptus oil at 5 products. And of the DEET-containing products, the average percent of active ingredient was 41%. It's important to note that the CDC recommends that children only use 30% or lower of DEET products. Another important note is that at the bottom of this list, we see lemongrass oil. It's not as common, but it is important to note that lemongrass oil is actually used by beekeepers to attract bees. So if we have any patients who are going out in an area during bee season or are allergic to bees, it's important to give that information to them when they're asking about natural insect repellents. The allergens that we identified in the 30 most reviewed insect repellents included fragrance, peppermint oil, and sodium benzoate. It's important to note that due to the EPA registration of insect repellents, they are not required to list all inactive ingredients. And this is why we only see the active ingredients listed on insect repellent bottles when we're in the grocery store. So we are not able to analyze the true list of ingredients of each insect repellent. The list of ingredients was sometimes found on safety data sheets, but not always, as these ingredients are proprietary information. The marketing claims of the most common insect repellents, despite the most common single active ingredient being DEET, the most common claim was DEET-free at 50%, so 15 of the 30 most reviewed insect repellents. And the next most common marketing claims were fragrance-free, all natural. Common hazards of the most popular insect repellents were collected from the safety data sheets. 19 of the products overall had safety data sheets available, 9 of which were those DEET-containing repellents, and 17 of the 30 repellents were registered with the EPA. It's important to note that the CDC recommends that you use insect repellents registered with the EPA as they have been tested for both effectiveness and safety. Eye irritant and flammable were the two most common hazards collected from the safety data sheets. And of these products, active ingredients included DEET, lemon eucalyptus oil, soybean oil, p-methane 3,8-diol, picaridin, and permethrin. So let's get into the consumer side of things. When we're picking out insect repellents, we tend to look at cost. So average price per ounce by active ingredient shows us that the most expensive products are the cedarwood oil and cedar oil containing products that had the highest average price per ounce of $6.73 per ounce, which was significantly higher than all other active ingredients. The second most expensive was lemongrass oil. And it's interesting to note that the average price per ounce of DEET-containing products was $2.03, which was lower than the mean average price per ounce of all of the products that we looked at, which was $2.59. Some limitations of this study included incomplete ingredients lists from the insect repellents due to EPA regulations that we discussed, the use of a single database to determine known allergens, and an inability to determine specific consumer rating criteria that would lead us to use the most reviewed for the most popular. And then the presence of these allergic ingredients or safety hazard warnings that we discussed does not always infer a clinical reaction. So the key points to take away from this project are that the most common active ingredient was DEET, despite the most common marketing claim of DEET-free products. The most common, safe, and effective natural insect repellent active ingredient, as reported by the EPA, is lemon eucalyptus oil. And it's important that when we're counseling patients on picking insect repellents, we discuss the active ingredient, cost, marketing claims, and potential hazards with them before use. Thank you all for tuning into my presentation. I'd like to extend a warm thank you to all of our collaborators that made this project possible. Our contact information is here at the bottom of this slide. We look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions. Thank you.